Hi, guys. My name is Jacob Harper. I am a sophomore at San Jose City College, and I will be presenting my public health final. And it is a presentation on the public health concerns. And my topic is physical activity and nutrition. So, to start, um, to identify health concern, obviously, as already said, it is physical activity and nutrition. um, and to understand why this is a health concern, specifically those two things, physical activity and nutrition are very critical of a person's health. Without one or the other, um, you cannot live a healthy lifestyle. Um, and whether that's nutrition and just like having healthy eating habits or physical activity and just, staying active and reducing the possibility of developing diseases or other things, as we're going to talk about later in this presentation. Um, so, yeah, staying active and maintaining good nutrition can have a lot of good benefits in the long term. Um, some things that might not be prevented if you don't stay active and maintain good nutrition would be something like type 2 diabetes, obesity, heart failure, and things of that sort. Um, and then obviously the diet part, the nutrition part. It just it helps with your mental health, your brain health, keeps you sharp, and then also physically your muscles and your joints and ligaments and all that will be healthier. So to start with the rates, here's just a little slide about how poor nutrition and physical activity has become a very serious situation. As you can see here, it is in the top 6 globally as a leading cause of death. And just a little bit more in detail is every 1 in 3 adult, which is about 30%, is overweight. About every 2 out of 5 adults have obesity. And then about 1 every 11 adults have severe obesity. So um, that just goes to show that obesity, which is a cause from poor nutrition and lack of physical activity, is a very serious problem in our society. The next one I'm going to talk about is gender. And with gender, um, when it comes to public health problems, women compared to men in nutrition/physical activity tend to have more problems. So, what does this mean? This means that something such as a man who is bigger physically and their muscles are bigger, they require more calorie intake. So already off the bat, a woman is gonna eat less. Um, and then if you throw in other factors, um, such as more men work out than women, um, there are more male athletes in the world than there are women athletes. Not saying that athletes can't be a woman, but what I'm saying is it's there's just more men in the world who are going to the gym or just being athletes, and so um, men already have that over women. As far as some eating disorders, women are more likely to binge eat, based off of just like the mental side of things with how they see themselves, and that becomes a whole issue. And then there's obesity and diabetes and heart complications. And now, when it comes to race, I'm going to explain some of the issues that certain races have. And so, when it comes to race, as the graph I have provided here, it shows that Hispanic is the highest race of level of inactivity. Then it goes Native American Indian and African American. Um, and that's just kind of like a a little insight of how Even physical activity can be affected by race, or vice versa. Race can be affected by physical activity. And then on the second slide, or second graph, it's how the levels of hypertension in certain races. And so, as you can see, hypertension is, it relates to blood pressure and the heart. And if you have a unhealthy diet, or you're just not physically active, your chances of higher blood pressure and hypertension happening are very much higher. Next, what I'm going to talk about is complications when it comes to not having a healthy diet, poor nutrition, or just a lack of physical activity. And they are very serious, and some of those things include cardiovascular disease, diabetes, obesity, hypertension, stroke, and cancer. And so, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. If you are just at home all day and you're not getting any exercise, or you're just going to work and then just coming home and not getting the proper physical activity, it can take a toll on you physically, whether that's cardiovascular disease or just getting fat, which is obesity, increasing your chances of stroke and cancer. And then if you have a poor nutrition, you're just eating fast foods, you're eating processed foods, processed sugar, you're not getting any vegetables or fruits, that can lead to diabetes and as well as increasing your chances of cancer. So the next thing is age, and this one is a little bit different, but basically, if you're not taking your young years serious as a young adolescent, and you're like, oh, I'm young, my metabolism is good, like I can eat whatever I want, or you're just like, I'll worry about working out later. You can actually affect your life later on, 20-30 years down the road. And so, depending on how serious you take your early years, you can be more susceptible to certain problems, or you can't if you took it serious. Some of those things include chronic disease, bone health, immunity, your weight, and then preventing those diseases such as cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. And as we all know, as you get older, it's a little bit harder to move, arthritis, chronic pain in your bones and stuff and whatnot. So nutrition and physical activity definitely play a part in that. So some things that are contributing to the health concern of physical activity and nutrition being a problem in my community, it's pretty straightforward. I have two pictures here of I went to McDonald's. I know I'm doing a health presentation on physical activity and nutrition, and I went to McDonald's. And then I have a PS5 controller, which is a video game controller right here. And so the things I've listed, social media, people can get caught up in what other people are doing on social media and what they see, and it can just like boost their demeanor, or it can just completely tear it down, and they get self-conscious about what they're eating and stuff, and then it just like it goes downhill from there. Fast food is basically it's not good food. You eat fast food, it's harder to digest. It's There's no nutrition in it. It's just it's fast food. Video games. I'm speaking from personal experience here. Once I get on the game, it's pretty hard to get off. I just stay on the game and get addicted a little bit, and so that can lead to so much time goes by, you didn't have any time to make the proper meal that you were supposed to make that day, or you weren't able to get the proper amount of exercise that you were supposed to get that day. So that's how video games plays a part. Inflation, definitely, as we know, in our economy, prices have gone up in just about every aspect of life. And so buying those premium foods, meats, veggies, fruits, whatever it is, can be a little bit tougher because, everyone's on a budget and stuff is just getting more expensive. And then lack of sources, depending on where you're at. We're obviously in a pretty good area, the Bay Area. Um, but there are some areas in the world, or even just in the U.S., where um, quality food is hard to come by. So yeah, those are the health concerns in my community. Some solutions for the community. It really could just be as simple as, you know, if you're at work all day and you're like in your office and just sitting on the computer, you come home and then just lounge on your couch instead of just going right to your couch. Why not go on a walk for 30 minutes and then you could chill. Um, uh, there is this thing called Play 60 that the NFL had commercials about when I was younger, and they would always promote them with like younger kids and stuff, and it was basically just encouraging people to make sure you get out and do something active for 60 minutes a day. So if you do a couple walks for two 30-minute walks, there you go. There's your you met that threshold. And then something that could be a solution for nutrition is just encouraging more intake of vegetables, proteins, fruits, and getting rid of the processed sugars. In in our stores, grocery stores, we see a lot of just processed stuff, and it's very unhealthy. Um, and then just like some personal things you can do is less time on your phones, less time on the video game, less time watching TV, and why not go read a book? Why not go for a walk? Um, that could be very beneficial to oneself. And then the last one is just spending more time outside. Um, when you're just outside, you feel better. When the times I've spent a whole day in my house, I just feel gross. I feel lazy. I feel yucky. I feel like I didn't do anything. But when I go out and I'm outside, I'm at the park, I'm walking the creek by my house, or I'm just actually working out, I feel a lot better by myself mentally and physically.